What's going on, Ravens fans? Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Peterson. Been bringing you the best coverage all week long. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about a question. Is there a Mark Andrews trade coming soon? Because I've seen some sources on Twitter that believes after the Engram deal with the Denver Broncos, that could lead to a little bit more of an uptick in, some other teams having a little more interest in trading for Mark Andrews. And the reason this is all coming out now and the reason we're talking about it now is because Mark is due a $4 million roster bonus on March 20th, 6 days from now. So it's believed that they'll decide what to do with Mark, whether it is trade him, release him, restructure him, extend him, whatever it is, within the next 6 days. Alrighty? Speaking of 6 days, we got 6 more days of this AFC North sub-battle, and you guys have been absolutely crushing it. We made a massive run yesterday. Let's keep it going. We are so close to Steelers talk. Unfortunately, they made a big run as well. But we're only 2 subs behind right now. Help us get over the hump. Help us take down our biggest rivals. I need you guys. Again, second day in a row. Let's lock it in. Hit that sub button. So this rumor is coming from Cole Jackson on Twitter. I'm sure many of you guys follow Cole. I follow Cole. He's been great with Scoop all off season long. He said, the streets have indicated that there's been an uptick in trade interest in tight end Mark Andrews after Evan Engram signed a deal. Andrews is due a roster bonus on Monday. Regardless, expect the path forward to be solved. I don't know what you're thinking. Joey, why are you taking this guy's tweet and making an entire video? Well, because he's been right by a lot of things with the Baltimore Ravens, especially in the last couple weeks or so, okay? Late February 26th, about a week before Ronnie Stanley signed his extension, said the streets are telling me that Ronnie Stanley and the Ravens are very close to a deal, just a matter of time, and that was correct. And then he went on to say after that, March 8th was when the deal went down. He kind of started taking his victory lap on Twitter for all the people responding to him saying, Cole, you're not right. Cole, you're not a reputable source. He said, I'll drop it after this. Had to take the victory lap. Let me be clear about this. I gain nothing by making up rumors. I try and tell you folks what I know when I know it. Stuff changes all the time, but when I have good sight, I'll tell you the streets don't miss. All right, so I think we can take Cole Jackson's first tweet and kind of give a little bit of validity to it, right? I think that's a legit possibility. Obviously, he has a source telling him information, the streets, and he tells it to all of us. So the question coming off of that is, could we get an Andrews trade soon? My answer, I hope so. Okay, I really do. And it's nothing, again, against Mark Andrews as a player. He is a Mount Rushmore Baltimore Raven. Maybe not Mount Rushmore. Maybe if Mount Rushmore had like 7 or 8 heads, he'd be a Mount Rushmore Baltimore Raven. But he leads the franchise in receiving touchdowns. But the reason is just, in my opinion, the money doesn't make sense this year. He's entering a contract year set to make $11 million with a $5.9 million dead cap hit. He's a $16.9 million cap hit, and he's got that $4 million roster bonus due on March 20th. And so because of that, you got to ask the question, is it better if he is gone? Because you could save $11 million if he is cut or if he is traded. Now, the thing about Baltimore is they made some money moves over the past 24 hours. Yesterday, in the beginning of the day, they were sitting with $2.2 million in cap space. Then they restructured Marlon Humphrey's deal. Now they're sitting at $15.6 million in cap space. So it's not like they're hurting for money. However, if you could save $11 million trading a player, getting an asset back, you can never have too much money. 15.6 is a good bit for, us two just standing right there. We'd all take $15.6 million. But in NFL terms, that's still very bottom of the league. Okay, so my take on this entire thing, and then I'll talk more. Don't worry, we're not done. With the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, and likely at the tight end 2 spot, I believe this offense would recover fine with no Mark Andrews. To me, it's worth saving the $11 million and possibly getting something back in return with a trade asset and then using said $11 million to go and make a bigger move, get somebody in on the defensive side of the ball, because you still have weapons. You still have Lamar Jackson. You still have Derrick Henry. You still have Zay Flowers. You still have Rashad Bateman. You've added DeAndre Hopkins. You have Isaiah likely to step up into that tight end 1 spot. Mark Andrews leaving, I hate to say it, I truly believe this offense wouldn't miss a beat. And I kind of have a feeling you guys agree with me as well. So what say you? Let me know in the comment section down below. Should the Ravens trade Mark Andrews? Give me a T for trade, a K for keep. You know my thoughts. Now it is your turn to give me yours down below. Coming up, we're going to talk about a possible trade destination. Where could he land if the Ravens do decide to deal him? But speaking of deals, I got to talk about this. Because right now, you get a Ravens Polo for 40% off if you go to chatsports.com/RavensPolo. Super easy link. It's in the comments. It'll be in the description. And you know what? It was $55. Now it's just $33. I can't tell you how great of a deal this is. I'm wearing a collared shirt right now. I can promise you I paid more than $33 for this, and it doesn't even have a Ravens logo on it. So if you love the Baltimore Ravens, if you love looking cool, if you love feeling your best, wearing the best, you'll go to chatsports.com/RavensPolo. Take advantage of this deal. And of course, that link is in the comments, and it's also in the description of today's video. So the question is, this new question. We're asking a lot of questions today on today's episode, but if you're going to deal Andrews, who's willing to trade for him? Because it takes two to tango. My answer to that is the most likely option's the Los Angeles Chargers. And I don't even really know if there's a second most likely option. Like, I believe it's the Chargers, and then there's a massive gap between them and the second most likely team. And when you look at their depth chart, they got Will Dissly in the tight end 1 spot, Tucker Fisk in the tight end 2 spot, and then volunteer for life, McCallan Castles in the tight end 3 spot. If any of you guys saw those guys in public, would you know who any of them were? Now, I'm not saying that's what judges a good football player from a bad football player, but what I'm saying is when you look at that room, they could use a guy like Mark Andrews. So why Los Angeles? Well, Andrews has ties with Los Angeles because, I don't know if you guys know this, but Greg Roman is their offensive coordinator. Of course you knew it because everybody was so happy he wasn't ours anymore. They knew he went to Los Angeles. And Roman loves tight ends. And Roman loves Mark Andrews. Okay, so if your offensive coordinator loves a tight end, that position in general, and Mark Andrews, and you look at what they've had in their room, what they have in their depth chart, then Andrews makes a lot of sense. And also, the Chargers missed out on signing Evan Engram. They were in on that. Denver outbid them. Denver signed Engram. So it's obvious that they're looking to upgrade at that tight end position because they've been trying to do that in free agency already. I could really see this happening. Okay, it has all the makings of a classic trade. Right? You got an old offensive coordinator, possibly reuniting with one of his old favorite weapons in Mark Andrews. You got a guy who runs a very static offense, and you got a tight end that can thrive in a position like that. Roman's already done with Andrews. Andrews has already done with Roman. Jim Harbaugh loves the tight end position. There's nothing Jim Harbaugh loves more. Look at all the great Michigan tight ends that have come out of that university over the last couple of years. So there's many reasons I could see this happening, but I have a really strong feeling that it could be Los Angeles. Name them in the comment section down below. Who will trade for Mark Andrews? Let me know in the comment section. I think it'll be Los Angeles. Let me know if you agree, and if you disagree, tell me who you think it'll be. So expect something to happen in the next week. I think something will happen before March 20th. So you got 6 days. Really, I'd be shocked, absolutely shocked if we get to March 20th, he gets that $4 million roster bonus, and nothing has happened, okay? There always is that other option of a contract restructure. You saw them just do it with Marlon Humphrey, clear up $13 million in cap space. Because that's the biggest thing, ladies and gentlemen, as I smash my water bottle. That's the biggest thing, is nobody's upset with the football player that Mark Andrews is. I know he fumbled the football. I know he dropped the 2-point conversion. He still had 14 receiving touchdowns last year. Nobody wants to just ship him away, but they do want to if he's going to be a $16 million cap hit. And you could save $11 million in cap space. So they either trade him or they'll restructure him. And expect some of those options within the next 6 days. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning in. It's been a massive and busy week during free agency. It's been an absolute blast. Thanks for following us every step of the way. And if you're just now joining us for the first time, make sure you subscribe.